Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at another figure from the newest wave of G.I. Joe Classified, and that is Leatherneck, and I will be doing a comparison to that original Leatherneck, which is, I'm more interested in the details than in, or not the details, I just want it to have the same general look. We'll get into it, as we've done in all of the G.I. Joe Classified reviews. And I've reviewed almost everything from this line. There are a few things that I skipped over. And of course, as the line goes on, there will be more and more that I pass on. Off the top of my head, the HMS and the Blue Ninjas I did not pick up, but almost everything else I've gotten. I like the nice new compact box. Art on the side, very cool. A lot of character in that face right there. But the figure's face, we'll get to that in a minute. But I can almost hear Brad Garrett's voice coming out of that head, and I love it for that. Leatherneck came out in 1986 and was one of my, I say one of my favorites all the time because in a way, all of those, I don't know if I can include the 82s, to be honest. And look, they mean a lot to me because of what they were, but I can't say they were my favorites. I loved them when I got them, but as the line went on, the 83 to 87 stuff is what I think of when I think of my favorite toy line of all time. And don't get me wrong, he has got swappable hands, which the other two figures I've reviewed so far do not have. It's the 83 to 87 stuff is what is really in my wheelhouse as being the G.I. Joe that I love. And in a way, I hate this tape. It's so frustrating. In a way, all of those characters are my favorites, and all of those characters are essential. Oh, nice. It's hard for me to say, well, I have to have this one, but I'm not as worried about this one because I want all of those in Classified. There we go. I want to see all of them recreated. I want to see how they're interpreted, how they're updated. Things like Xandar that I initially thought I wasn't going to love the Classified Xandar figure. And then once I got him in hand, he is great. And I totally agree with almost everything they did with him. Okay, I'm going to do it. This is a new thing. I've got to do a double check now of the tray because speaking of Xandar, I almost threw out his ice scraper. And yes, I know it's not an ice scraper, but it amuses me to refer to it as such. Man, he looks great. He looks a little rough, to be honest. Look at that face. Woo. This man has seen some action. He's got some very, very, very faint stubble execution. I think they could have gone a little heavier with that, to be honest. But everything else, I mean, what a portrait. You can see right up here, there are some little black flecks showing up in the video. That's probably a result of the inkjet printing that they use now. But I'll tell you, I cannot see it with my naked eye at all. Look at, I mean, just the bags under his eyes. Leatherneck looks like he's seen some rough times. So his cover does come off. Great looking haircut. Look at that. That fit is so good and so snug. It almost looks like it's just part of the sculpt. Very well done. Gosh, that portrait is haunting me for some reason. I mean, he looks troubled. Wow. I always loved the vest on the original figure. As you can see side by side, like, we've really gotten... the sleeves, I don't know. I do kind of wish they had used... I don't know if they could have used Duke's arms, because he, I believe, is larger. You know, I never do height comparisons on these things. I don't know why I'm even doing this right now, because I have no idea how tall Duke is. He is about 6'1", I'd say. I'm sure there's one reason or another they couldn't use the Duke arms here. And it's not a big deal. He's got the insignia there. He's got that vest, the 2 grenades. Like, the details are mostly here the way they need to be. And one of the things I didn't like on the render are the knee pads, but they're fine here. They make sense. They look good. The contrast in the camo is acceptable. It's not blowing me away, although I will say it looks better in the video than it does just to my eye. But it's good enough. And really, on the original figure, it's not as high contrast as you might think it is, because that brown is pretty faded out. He's got the weird doodad on his hip. That's a nice touch. Because if you can see, he's got like a walkie-talkie. That's great. That's like new stuff right there. And he's got the holster on the other side. Yeah, this is definitely the kind of remastered classified update that I dig. Plastic feels good. As I pointed out in the other videos, it is very, very cold down here in the Phantom Zone right now. Oh, look at this. He's got the... is that how the bracelet was on the original? Yeah, it is. That sort of horseshoe-style bracelet that was a thing. I like it. But anyway, it's very, very, very cold down here, so these figures are much more rigid than they will be once they get into the main part of the room. The workshop is not climate controlled. It's inside, but there's no heat and there's no air. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good. He's great. He is great. Oh, man. I liked Leatherneck a lot when I was a kid, because camouflage was always going to be a hit with me. And I really liked the Leatherneck figure, but for some reason I just wasn't as excited to see him in Classified. I don't know what. Well, part of it is because I want Special Mission Brazil Leatherneck. Like that, as much as green Leatherneck, yes, we have to have that. Special Mission Brazil has a very special place in my heart. And I do hope to see all of those in Classified at some point, preferably as a box set, but we'll see. He's just really great. The vest is great. I don't personally care about limiting the torso articulation. If they did away with particularly the standard torso articulation, that cut, I can't remember what it's called right now, ab crunch or whatever, it just always looks bad to me. That waist, that gives you really good range there. I prefer just a nice, and the overlay works, but I just don't need the abdominal articulation as much as I need the figure to look good and right. All right. Set him over there. We've got a backpack. And it is very, very similar to the original. Hopefully it will plug in and sit nicely. It's got a really long peg, which could be good or bad. I've had to snip some down, and I've had some that were not long enough. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if you heard that little crack right there. I believe the bedroll is a separate piece from the rest of the backpack. It felt like there was a little give as I was pushing that in. And if you can see, it is. This is like, isn't that interesting? So this is green with painted brown straps, I believe. All right. So the peg is perhaps a little longer than it needs to be. And that is one of my ongoing issues. Now, Saw Viper and Xandar were great. But Leatherneck's backpack just doesn't fit snugly enough. And I could trim just a tad off of that peg. And maybe I will. I'll have to get the nippers out. And just trim like that much off. And I think this will fit in a little better. The issue really to me is that these are not contoured to fit on the figure's backs in most cases. And that presents problems because then you get this weird sort of hang that doesn't look natural. And plus you can just see the peg sticking out up there. Not terrible though, not terrible. He has got a knife that we may or may not have seen before. I couldn't tell you. Looks great, and that is going to go right here. It's got a hand blaster with a port in the front. This looks new to me, but I could be wrong about that. And I like that we're getting more, some holsters that are a little closer to the waist. Not everything is a thigh holster now. Like we've gotten some that are up here at the waist, and I really like that. He's got those alternate hands, which is nice to see. I might give him. Oh, look at that watch! I didn't even look at his watch. I was entranced by his interesting bracelet. On the other hand, boy, that does not want to come out. Let's give him a fist, just so he's got something a little different going on. But take a look at that watch. It is 1900. Wonder what the significance of that is. It's 7 p.m. wherever he is. Yeah, it is, again, very cold down here. I'm not going to crack that elbow right now. And then finally, ports for blast effects in the grenade launcher and in the barrel. Very solid, nice and rigid. This is what I want all, just solid. I want all of these accessories to feel like this. This is perfection. As you can see, pretty good update of that original. Let's get that trigger finger out a little bit. I found when it's a little too chilly down here, you got to guide that thing a little bit more. There we go. Oh, good. The wrist has up and down. So he'll be able to hold that nicely. So the fists are side to side, and the trigger finger hands, well, okay, the left one is side to side, but the right one is up and down, which in general is how it should be. Oh, almost forgot, because this was not on the original figure. He's got some great shooting glasses. They look awesome. Nice translucent lenses. And they're nice and rigid. They're not that rubbery stuff that some of the other glasses have been made of. So get him on his face, push him down over the ears. Look at that fit. Oh, wow. I don't know if I'll display him with those because I want to see his face, but they look great. It's got a real Gerald McRaney thing going on there with those on for some reason. Oh, he's awesome. What a wave this is. If you have not seen Dial Tone yet, it's because he didn't get delivered in time for me to get in this round of reviews. But maybe you've already seen him because he'll go up first if he does get here in time. But so far this wave, the Saw Viper, Leatherneck, and Xandar, all huge winners for me. So great time to be a G.I. Joe fan with Classified. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Check out our memberships. And until next time, buy what you like.
Hey, Phantomaniacs, I want to tell you about memberships for the Needless Things channel. We have 3 different levels. Each one has different special perks that will only be available to members. We've got things like special emojis that I made myself, badges, polls that you're going to be able to participate in to determine what we do here on the channel, early access to videos, exclusive live chats, exclusive live streams, lots of engagement, because that's really what I want. I really enjoy the comments here on the channel, even the negative ones. I like getting into that kind of stuff, and I want people to feel like they're more a part of what's going on here. And obviously, I want support for the channel. You know, this stuff, as much as I love doing it and providing it for free, it isn't free for me. So every little bit that we can get helps out. And even if you don't join as a member, thank you for your support, whether liking, subscribing, sharing, whatever it is you do. It's all important. But those memberships, the members are going to get lots of cool stuff exclusive only to them.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.